Hey, check it out. More bars. Alright, welcome back. This is Brian again. And we've gotten quite a bit done since the last time I checked in with you guys. It's several hours later, about 6 o'clock. I'm pretty good and dirty. But we've got all the lines run, and all that's left now is to just put some holes in where we want the drip to be. So you can take a look and see here. I went ahead and ran it all the way up to the hives. Oops, let me jostle this around. I don't really know what I'm going to use that for yet, but if I need it, it'll be there. And the bees, I don't know, we'll figure something out for that. As you can see, this is the longest run, obviously, and it runs all the way down through here. Here's my little bee drinking area. Buzzy buzzies. This has worked really well. It's an old chicken water that we're not using anymore. The bees really like it. Keeps them out of my neighbor's pool, too. So as you can see here, we've got quite a long run. This is probably 100 feet, 200, I don't know, something like that. At least, I don't know. It's a ways. I don't remember how many sections we used on it. As you can see, we've got these tubes. The pipes run all the way down. Here's our blackberries and the blackberry plant. So we'll come through here and weed all this stuff out and probably cover these pipes over with mulch so it doesn't look quite so industrial. But this will do real well. It's kind of a permanent thing. We'll be using this for several years. So down here, here's how we had tied stuff in. So we've got a ball valve, an elbow, and some hose. And this is just a 15-foot hose. It connects over here in such a way. And the hose actually functions as a manifold, but we wanted to be able to take it up and move it so that we can run the bush hog through these sections, or the lawnmower, or what have you. And so each one of these is run the same way, all the way out to here. And then of course right here is where the supply from the house will come in. So what we'll do is what I've got on here is a 1/16 inch wood boring bit. It's perfect for going through thin plastic like this. There's nothing really special about 1/16. That just happened to be the smallest bit I had. So what we'll do is I'll go through and drill these holes out here so we get a little bit of sprinkle right around the stem of each one of these plants we've got here, and we'll check back in shortly. See you. Alright, so we're going to take you through just a quick tour of the watering system that's now complete. Say hello to the chickens. Hello, chickens! Someday we'll do a tractor supply, or tractor chicken tractor thingy. Alright, so what we got is one line here that's coming off the house. Alright, now this guy here goes into kind of a trailer park setup I got going. We've got a splitter, and then we've got some watering timers. Each one of these has 2 zones. What we do is we set the frequency of watering, which I had 24 hours, and the duration of watering, which is 120 minutes on each one of these. And then these are set 2 hours apart, starting at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock this one runs for 2 hours, at 12 this one runs, 2 and 4 a.m., and then they're done by 6. That's the plan. So each one of these, as you can see, is tied to this guy here. Now these were run like in a manifold series, but I wanted to have different zones to take advantage of the pressure, because we had all 4 of them running at one time and the pressure just couldn't manage it. So we've got sort of a drip setup here going, where you can see this is a number 6 brass screw. The best way I found to do this is to drill or put in a number 8 screw, which is a slightly bigger hole than a number 6. Then you back it out and put a number 6 in its place, and the gap between the threads is just enough in most cases so that you get a nice solid drip here instead of a spray or anything like that. And that works real well to maintain back pressure in the line, because as we go up, this thing keeps on going here, and we've got a drip set up at each one of these grapevines. Now what we've got over here And this is where we start to see the importance of the zone. And on the end of this, we've got our ball valve, which is open. And then we've got another garden hose that ties into this here. This is the same for all 4 of these things. So we got 4 garden hoses running into the garden here, which actually, as you can see, is starting to really come along. It's starting to look good. We got some stuff coming in. And by the time we get back from vacation, it should be looking pretty decent. We should have some good stuff. Anyway, so we had a continuous run of soaker hose, which was kind of stupid because there's probably, I'm going to say, close to 800 feet of soaker hose out here, and a single hose just couldn't drive it. It was getting soaked pretty good the first half or so of the run, and then after that it just piddled out. So what we've got is the soaker hose is broken into zones. So we've got one zone that starts here, does a loop-de-loop around, comes back around on this side, then runs up and down this row and stops here. And right here you can see this is where we capped it. That's the end of zone 1. This is the beginning of zone 2. And it was very easy to do this because we basically just broke up the continuous run we already had. And this works pretty well. The only issue we've had is some of the soaker hoses are older than others. They're last year's or the year before maybe, and they don't soak through quite as well, so we'll get more water flow on some hoses and some runs than we do in the others. But usually running those over a 2-hour interval kind of makes up for that. So we've had some rain here in the last couple of days, which has really been quite a blessing. We've really been dry lately. It hasn't rained in like 3-4 weeks, and we've been just about watering 24/7. We've had the field sprinklers going most of the day, and then at night these things kick on. And it's been real interesting, to say the least. The well pump has done pretty well. So you can see all the hose runs here. And that's pretty much it. So hope that was helpful. Kind of show you how to do things here. Well, I'm not saying we're the authority, but this is how we did it, and so far it's working out pretty well. You can see we got some more beans coming up, and our okra's coming back, and that sort of thing. We've got a squash bed over here we just planted. Splice that sucker in. And then here's another one of the zones coming up over here. You can see what we did here. Well, here's kind of a crappy looking plant, but you can, we ran the hose right through these tomato cages and then planted beans around them, and that supposedly works pretty well. I think the beans are outpacing the tomatoes and eating out the sun, but you know, live and learn. And then here's the beginning of the last zone here. This is zone 4. And you can see we've got some stuff coming up already that we planted the last couple of days. And this runs, you can see this runs up and down, hits the peppers over there. And then we've got some loop-de-loop action going in the potato bed over here, which has really kind of been tough to keep watered. So what we've done is I got another length of hose, and we just kind of loop-de-looped it in a daisy chain sort of fashion, and hopefully that will work out. Same issue we've had before, where we've got the newer soaker hose here and the older hose here, and the newer one puts out quite a bit more water than the older one. So what we did is we just kind of put the newer one over by the good looking plants and maybe sort of sacrifice the rest of them. Strawberry patch is looking pretty rough, but it'll come back. And then our peppers here, and this is the end of the run. So that's one way to do it. Soaker hoses certainly work pretty well. If we had the time, we'd probably bury this hose under the hay like we have in some of these other runs, but that'll be fine the other way because it runs at night. If this ran during the day, you definitely want it covered, because with it being a black hose, it would certainly get really hot and you'd be dumping hot water on your plants, which not really the best idea. Alright, so there you go. I'm Brian with BubbaTanicals, and you guys have a great week.